Welcome to Meet the Candidate with your host, Sue Lonnie Madsen. Meet the Candidate is your opportunity to see local candidates and hear about the experiences that have shaped their lives. Meet the Candidate is a nonpartisan community project brought to you by our friends at Greater Spokane Incorporated, Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, We Believe, We Vote, and Better Spokane. Now, here's Sue Lonnie.
Okay, well, welcome to Meet the Candidate. And my guest for this session is Jenn Goulet, who is running in the 9th Legislative District for Position 1. Welcome, Jenn.
Thank you. Hello.
Glad you could join us in the studio today.
Thanks for having me.
It's just an opportunity for people to just get acquainted for who you are as a person, and I always start with where did you grow up and go to school?
I was born in Pasco. I'm a fourth generation resident, or born
in the county,
in southeastern Washington. But I moved away when I was a little kid. My parents moved me all over the country as my dad took Department of Energy contracts all over the country. So I've gotten to see a lot of different places. And then we came back to the Tri-Cities for all 4 years of high school. So I still consider Tri-Cities always my home. All of my extended family is there or nearby, and that's home.
Okay. What kinds of things really attracted you in high school for activities? What got you involved?
I was a theater geek. I was also the president of the German club. I was the secretary of the drama club. I was involved from time to time with the debate club. I would do mock trials. Mainly anything involved with theater. That was my big hobby. And I also did some community theater as well.
I think every kid needs to have something that really draws them into the school experience. That's an interesting one for anybody. When you, as a kid, did you have a chance to get any early work opportunities?
My first real job, I worked for B. Dalton Bookstore. When I was 16, I worked there for about a year and a half, and most of my money went right into the books that I was constantly reading.
Any interesting insights from that work experience, things that you learned?
I learned that there is a lot of book waste. When they can't sell books, they strip the covers of the books off and throw the books away and send the covers back to the manufacturer or whoever to get credit for the unsold books. And it would just break my heart to see all of these stripped books heading for the trash. It was just, as a book lover, it hurt. It was shocking.
Yeah, my house looks like a library too. So that would be really,
I feel like
really
I've
hard.
just exposed the book industry. So
no, I
that's
think
some dirty secret.
Well, I think that one of the things with publishing on demand is that maybe they're trying to get around that. Yay,
Kindle, right?
Yeah, not so much of that. And other things that shape a person are interesting travel. Now, you lived in various places around the country. Where were some of those places? I've
lived in two parts of California, northern and southern. I've lived in Oklahoma, Louisiana, Florida. As an adult, I lived briefly in Ohio, and I've lived for about 9 years in the Chicago suburbs. I've traveled to some of the poorest parts of Mexico and some of the nicest parts of Canada, and I went as an exchange student to Germany, and so I also got to see Austria while I was there. And that's probably the best place I've been is to Germany and Austria, and I can't wait to go back to Europe someday and see more of it.
Well, as an exchange student, that would it makes sense that from the German club you would pick Germany.
Yeah. And
family roots there?
No, not Germanic. Mostly French and British and Irish, but German just seemed to come naturally to me. I went there after 1 year of learning German, was able to skip second year German and go straight into third and fourth year German. And sadly, I'm mostly could pass as a tourist now with my German skills because I didn't have anyone to speak it with.
Right. It's hard to keep up a language if you don't have the chance for conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a shame.
So what prompted you to volunteer for elected office? Why step out of a? Oh, I didn't ask about education past high school. Is there other education or training that you took on after high school?
Yeah, I got a bachelor's of science in applied management from Columbia Basin College.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also have an associate's degree years ago from another college in Illinois, but just in general arts.
Well, yeah, but at least you get to tick off the box that you finished something, which is a good thing.
Couple of degrees, yeah.
How have you been applying those degrees, or have they just been useful as a general education?
Well, I mean, the applied management one, I've never been a manager, but I do have my own business.
Well, you're a manager if you have your own business.
True. I guess so. I manage myself. I started a business last October, actually, because I wanted to be able to set my own schedule while running for office. So I do instructional design contract work for Microsoft.
Okay.
So I guess it's, coming in handy.
Well, it is management. Managing yourself can sometimes be the toughest employee to take care of.
Yeah.
So you've had all that together. What prompted you to run for elected office?
I've had a lot of leadership and volunteering experience. Obviously, going back into high school, where I was, president of the German Club, for example. But I co-founded and was president of a 501c3 nonprofit going back to 2008, and I'm currently on the board of directors of Planned Parenthood of Greater Washington and North Idaho, and I have served on a number of other boards from time to time, or committees, and I'm also the former chair and former vice chair of the Franklin County Democrats. So I have a lot of experience in nonprofit and leadership roles. And as far as what made me want to run for elected office, it just seemed to naturally follow. I'd had people say to me, oh, you should run for office, and for the most part I dismissed it, but then while I was on the board of directors of Planned Parenthood in, I think it was early 2016, the person who is my opponent, Mary Dye, in the legislature said something very inappropriate to a group of teenagers, where she asked them a very private question about their virginity. And I thought immediately, someone needs to run against her. That is just really inappropriate. And so there was just, something that said, well, why not you? People have said you should run, and you have all of this, experience in leadership and in politics and in nonprofit. Somebody has to, why not you? And so I did in 2016, and now here I am giving it another go.
Okay. Well, that's what prompted you to run, and now this is that last question that you get to. How do you see the duties of this elected office, and why should voters choose you?
Yeah. Well, representing the 9th Legislative District is it's a very important, obviously, role not to be taken lightly. There's a lot of work to be done in my district, and we have to think of our future. There's a lot of investments that need to be made in education and infrastructure and in economic development to make sure that working people have good family wage jobs, and the representatives we have now are just not cutting it. And so we need a true champion of the people. And so I'm asking for people to vote for me to be that champion for them.
Okay, well, I'm so glad you could join us this time in studio, and thank you, Jen.
Thanks for having me.
Have fun this summer.
Thank you. It's definitely fun. All right.
Thanks for watching Meet the Candidate. Spokane Talks thanks our community-minded partners, Greater Spokane Incorporated, the Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, We Believe We Vote, and Better Spokane for helping make Meet the Candidate possible.